Have you ever been stuck in a car with someone you barely know? You strike up a conversation, then you realize 2 hours later you know more about that person than you ever thought you would know, and maybe even know more about them than some of your own friends. It's a funny thing how settings can change our perspective of someone. You're in a confined space, no one else to talk to, the only people you can focus on are each other. Well, that's my idea. I wanted to drive around Auburn with some of the key figures in Auburn's history and figure out what makes them tick in life, on the playing fields, and on the court. This is Driving Planes. So, this is the first SEC champion I've had in my car. I could say that. I'm not going to say is it sunk in yet, because it's sunk in. But, Auburn's only won 3 SEC championships. This place is not known for that. I mean, you never hear an athletics director, for example, like Jay Jacobs, saying, "Hey, they don't get it done here. We might as well just change that arena to a pea farm."
Plant peas.
Yeah. You did it.
Yeah.
Of course, there was everything, all the distractions and everything. I know you've had a lot of special seasons, but how does it stack up, just considering how you've had to count on so many of your players to kind of take over and block that out themselves?
Yeah. Listen, it'll stand the test of time. All right.
Yeah.
It's historic. It's special. But it's what we were brought here to do. And so all we're really doing is just doing our job. I'm glad, but when they say it about history,
yeah,
it's over.
Right.
It's history. It's over. Now, no one will ever take that away from us, ever. And I'm proud of it. But I mean, it's so far in the rearview mirror for me. It's not even funny. Like, it's easier to get it going than it is to keep it going.
Yeah.
So my challenge now is to keep it going. I do not make light of what a regular season championship is. It's bigger than a tournament championships. It's bigger than probably getting to the Sweet 16. Now you start getting Elite 8, Final 4, that's a different story. But, even the Elite 8's 3 wins versus a season full of wins. And especially when you do it in the SEC, in a year when the league is so good.
Yeah.
All right. I got it. I own it, but I've moved on.
So when you talk about trying to keep it going, I mean, as we're speaking now, you've had one player made their intentions. Now that they're going pro, obviously you've said before there might be 3, 4 more that just test the waters because that new rule, or newer rule, I should say. You want to look out for the best of your kids, because when you bring in 5 and 4-star guys in, it hasn't happened before. You're talking to them going, "Hey, I want you to be successful enough to where you go to the NBA in a couple of years or whatever." That's what Mustafa did.
Right.
But when you deal with a situation like, let's say, in Austin Wiley, where he hasn't been able to play that much, but he's the upside, and everything's there, and he might have a workout. How do you handle a situation like him?
Well, first of all, I look at a guy like Belichick. I go, now Belichick, they do it every year, but they lose guys every year. And they bring in guys that are hungry and can fit some different pieces. And, they've always got Brady, and they've always got certain things, and the coaching staff is there. And so, look, I think we're going to lose a couple guys. And there's nothing wrong with losing a couple guys, even some guys you would love to have back. Because you know what? The guys that are going to be coming back are going to be hungry.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily own that championship. So, specifically to Austin, if Austin can work his way into the first round, he really needs to think about going, because there's guaranteed money there. There's a difference between 20 and 30. There's 30 picks in the first round.
Right.
And you might want to think about that. But look, there's an enormous difference between 30 and anything in the second round, because there's nothing guaranteed. So I think Austin goes through the process. And look, he's got a chance to play his way into the first round, because he's unique. There are a lot of centers in the draft.
Yes.
This is a very, very deep draft. So Austin, and next year's draft is weak, and it's weak for inside players. I think those factors definitely are something that he will weigh, we will weigh. And look, he does not have to make that decision, nor should he, till probably late May.
Yeah. Now, with everything that happened before the season and everything, I mean, that's been chronicled quite a bit. But I was just wondering, how was your relationship with Purefoy and Austin Wiley during that time when, I don't know, from the outside looking in, you guys are trying to cooperate with just the president's office and everything. How much can you talk to the kids even about any of that?
It was really
How
weird.
are you dealing with it?
That was really weird because we had interaction every day,
Yeah.
but we couldn't talk about the investigation, and so we just didn't. We just flat out stayed away from it completely, and we talked about it one time, said, listen, we can't talk about it ever again. We just can't. They had to go through the process of being able to answer questions and provide evidence and documentation and all that stuff, and I didn't need to be involved in it, so I just wasn't. But I was involved in class and practice and weight room and all the different things as it relates to everything else. Now, I had more interaction with Austin because Austin made himself available to the team a lot more.
Yeah.
I think D'Angelo, having gone through a freshman year we couldn't play, and then this year we couldn't play, I mean, it really hurt him. I mean, it about broke him, and I understood. I felt bad for both of them. And so then when D'Angelo got his eligibility back, I mean, it was almost like such a burden was taken off of him because he wants to be at Auburn. He wants to have a great run, and he knows what he's going to do next year. He very well may test the waters. His chance to get drafted is not nearly as good as Austin's. So we just, look, we worried about what we could control. We talked about what we needed to talk about, and we stayed away from the stuff we needed to stay away from.
Was there any point in the season where you felt like maybe Austin be eligible at some point this past year?
I think that I was kind of hopeful all the way up to the beginning of the SEC season.
Yeah.
And then once it wasn't finished, and I think because D'Angelo's wasn't finished till much later than Austin's, but we didn't get a ruling on Austin, and it wasn't finished, and so therefore, if they didn't get it finished by the second semester or the start of SEC play, I began to be resigned to the fact that it just wasn't going to happen for us this year.
And really, I mean, if you think about it, as hot as you guys were at one point, couldn't that mess up chemistry a little bit? Or would you find a way, like, hey, let's get you in 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 12 minutes?
I think we find a way.
Figure it out.
We would have figured it out as we would have gone along. And I think because you were talking about, let's just say, Horace or Anthony being directly affected by him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think those guys are so close. I mean, you talk about those guys really, really do respect each other, love each other. I think either Horace or Anthony would have moved a position, or they would have said, okay, for the time he's here, I might have to play a little bit less.
Yeah.
And we would have made it work.
Feel free to grab a water. It's not an Uber, but I do provide water to our guests.
I appreciate that.
Here you are going in to now your 5th year. Is that kind of hard to believe? Because a lot of people still associate with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Everything. And you're getting to a point where you're going to be here maybe longer than you were at Tennessee.
Yep.
Does this feel like home to you?
Yeah. It does. And, I think one of the things I tell coaches all the time, one of the problems is we're not bought and sold. We're not rented. We're leased. Mm-hmm. We have a certain number of years on our contract. And, as a result of that, coaches or their families or whatever, they don't jump in with both feet. And as a result, I think sometimes they're not as successful. I've never taken that approach, and I'm not taking that approach here.
Yeah.
I pray to God every day, sometimes many times a day, and part of my prayer is that we can be here. This is home for me, and I'd like it to be my last coaching job. We got to keep winning. We got to keep doing it the right way. We got to keep doing positive things, and it can be. But I don't take it for granted. I came here to make history. I came here to bring credibility and competitive basketball to Auburn. The fan base has responded. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got one of the best home court advantages there is. People are starting to travel with us. People recognize us where we are in recruiting.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other thing too, I'm 58 years old. I don't feel like, I don't want to find a new church or a new doctor, or I don't want to make new friends. This is where we want to be. So, no, it does feel like home. But I also know I got a job to do, and I understand the challenges of the profession.
So you don't feel like Larry Brown, you just keep coaching?
No, I won't. That's a great question.
Gus Malzahn's mentioned this to me before.
Yeah.
That coaching every year is almost like a dog year.
Yeah, it is. It is dog years.
He doesn't see himself, he hadn't said an age, but see himself going to that level of certain coaches where they just keep coaching until they feel like, oh, my health's failing.
Yeah. No, I can't see myself. I'm not going to put a number on it, but I'm 58. I don't see myself doing it like Larry Brown did it. No,
Yeah.
I just, because I'm not talented enough, I've got to make up for what I lack in talent, in work ethic and grind, and it's the only way I know how. And so I would imagine that, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be. I might not be may not have quite the same energy. And when I stop being as effective, then that would be a time when I'm gonna, you know, not coach. But I won't. I'm not built to be able to let everybody else do my job and just sort of be stand up and be a figure out. It doesn't work that way for me.
Well, you're 58. You can still take your shirt off at the pool, as I've seen in photos.
Not right now. Not right now. Well, you know what?
Was that an old photo?
No, I was there with my sister. My sister is from Boynton Beach.
Okay, yeah.
And she came up for the game, and it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
We went for a walk, and at the end of the day, we went for a walk. So, you know, let's just go sit by the pool for a few minutes. So I was in between. You know, what was I going to do? Watch another film? I'd seen 10 of them. And so you sat there, and, you know, somebody takes a picture, it goes on the internet, and whatever.
You're a popular guy. I don't know if people would be even taking pictures of other coaches out there.
Well, I don't know that other coaches would be out there. And if they were out there, I don't know that they would be amongst people. Like, that was the thing that disappointed me about it. It says that I was just having a conversation with some people there, whatever, just another person that was staying at the hotel. But I know I'm not another person. You know, I'm probably cognizant about making sure there's no alcohol around, or, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, I'm a big target. I understand.
Sure. And you were nice enough to sign that fan's poster. I mean, the guy made a poster of it that day.
I didn't know.
After a loss, too.
Yeah,
you could just walk in and forget it.
Well, first of all, you know, I think you got to understand what we do. We're teachers.
Yeah.
You know, our classroom is a little bigger. We're no better than anybody else. We just get a little bit more visibility.
Yeah.
So I don't let success or failure kind of change who I am. And you know, I think we should love each other, respect each other, give each other the time of day. So it bothers me that there are people that are accomplished and they forget that. They forget where they were and how they got there, and then they start treating people differently just because they're got some notoriety. I'm not that guy.
It happens in every walk of life too, even in the industry I'm in.
It
happens. Every industry's like that.
That's not gonna happen to me, for better or worse.
Yeah. So, where's your favorite place to eat in town?
Well, I can't say that because I love a professional eater. I love to eat now. I work out a lot, and I've got a gut, and I got to drop it a little bit. I got to lose some weight, but I love to eat. I do. I enjoy good food, and I enjoy the restaurants in Auburn. I like all kinds of food. So I work out enough to just be able to eat too much. But I'm a professional. I mean, I am a professional. I make noise. I moan when I eat sometimes. It's embarrassing.
You moan.
I do. Oh.
I like that.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. Were you talking about like a Harry Met Sally situation?
Oh, but when it's good, I mean, I'll do that at a restaurant. Oh, are you really? You got to taste this. I'm also a sharer, too.
Yeah.
I'll cut it up. You get a piece of this. This is really good. But at the same token, I may go over there and I may try some of yours, too. I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, food is a familial situation anyway, in my opinion.
Right.
It should be, at least. I want to talk to you. Not a lot of people have talked to you about this, but just the situation in the Middle East. You're very, very opinionated about it.
Yep.
Coaches, public figures that are not in politics, or even people in politics, are so afraid of saying something.
Yep.
But you obviously are not, for good reasons, obviously, because of your faith. What's your motivation behind that, and where do you see things right now?
Well, you know, for me, my job as a coach is to bring people together. That's my job. That's what I do full time. And when I do a good job, we're successful. And so it bothers me in this world when we are apart. So religiously, I'm always trying to find common ground. Like I'm in a Bible study. I'm Jewish, and I'm in a Christian Bible study. And one of the things I talked about was the Passover. And I said, guys, listen to this. Jesus celebrated Passover every year of his life. Jesus celebrated the Passover probably a day or two before he was crucified, knowing he was going to be crucified. He still celebrated the Passover. So it's not like, guys, why don't you celebrate the Passover? But you know what? If Jesus did it, doesn't that make us kind of brothers? Like Jesus, who started Christianity, was a rabbi. Right. He was born a Jew, he died a Jew. Now, it may be difficult to hear that for some Christians, but to me, that makes us brothers. Isn't Abraham the father of all religions? And so
Yeah.
he is. And so therefore, that makes us brothers. So why can't we find, common ground? And, the issue in the Middle East is obviously that's where it's all happening. And, I pray for peace and security for everybody. And I hate that, that unfortunately, that's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
And when you've got some countries that are neighbors of Israel that are saying, basically, publicly, we're for her destruction. We're going to destroy Israel. Oh, okay. I kind of take them at their word for it, if that's where they are. And I'm supposed to keep quiet about it? Mm-hmm. I don't see how I can. I don't see in my right mind how I can. So, but at the same time, I respect also that, look, the Jews had the right to return. The Palestinians have the right to return. It's been a shared land for many, many years. But I don't think Israel is denying the Palestinians or the Arabs their existence. And I would pray that there are those Arabs that want Israel annihilated, that they would try to find a way to coexist. So anyways, it's a dangerous place. I came out very much against the Iran treaty because, it put $150 billion in Iran's pocket, the number one sponsor of terror in the region. They've not demonstrated that they're very willing for peace. I wish them no harm. I wish that we could be brothers, and I pray that we can. But it's very, very dangerous, and I can't be silent about it.
Can you win a national championship at Auburn?
I think we can win a national championship at Auburn.
I'm not putting on the spot saying, hey,
No.
I'm going to, but
No, I think we can.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I think we can. If we're good enough to win the SEC, we're good enough to win a national championship.
Yeah.
So I think we can. There's no reason why we can't. We have what we need. It'll be hard to do it, but if you do it, it'll be obviously pretty something special. That's what our goal is, to try to win a national championship. And so,
does it bother you? You haven't been to the Final Four?
Well, I won a national championship in 1995 in Division II, and I finished second in the country in '94. And I've been to 3 or 4 Elite Eights.
Right.
I've been to about maybe 10 Sweet 16s. So I've gotten close, and I know a lot of guys haven't gotten anywhere near there. So no, it doesn't bother me. I'd love to accomplish that. It'd be a great thing to accomplish, and I'd love to do it at Auburn.
A lot of people, and I'm flipping you around.
Sure.
Take you back. I don't want to take you
Yep.
too long. But a lot of people wonder about recruiting and everything. Obviously, you only have one senior leaving, and you got Samir coming in. And so, but the future, a year from now, how do you feel about the prospects you guys are kind of looking at?
Well, I feel like the best recruiters we have are Jared Harper or Bryce Brown or Anthony McLemore, or Horace Spencer, or Austin Wiley, or Chumo Kiki. In other words, guys that came in, and they came in with certain abilities and certain talent levels, and I think our guys have gotten better. And I think they are, we graduated 17 out of 18. We're doing well. We're not perfect. And I think the other thing too is, as players see me continuing to bring in other good players, we're going to have guys transfer. We're going to have guys that say, whoa, wait a second. If this guy comes back and this guy comes back, where am I going to play? And that's just part of the process as well. And so I think the other thing too, keep this in mind. On average, 2 players per team in Division I college basketball transfer, 2 per team. 2 per team per year. So, I would think that we're going to have turnover, and that's just part of it. But the guys that are going to come back, and keep this in mind too, we're not defending anything. There is no defending of anything. You will never hear that word out of us, not one word. It's a brand new season, and that's behind us. And we're going to try and, but we are going to try to continue to be relevant and be an NCAA tournament team and compete for championships.
How do you feel about next season? I know you don't know what pieces you're going to have coming back, but You got the core.
Yep, I got to rebuild our staff, and I'm excited about that possibility and what that's going to entail. There'll be some information probably coming out on that, bits and pieces. We'll go through the process through May, and we really won't know until late May what the roster is going to look like. But I do feel like there's a very, very strong foundation. The more guys that come back, the better job we do adding a couple of key pieces here and there, because we're still involved with some guys that come in and help us next year. And if we were able to get those guys, I feel pretty good about it.
What, you mean like transfers?
Well, now there's some players out there that have got eligibility to come in next year, whether it be a transfer, whether it be a high school player, and a lot depends on what opportunities present themselves.
Yeah, what happens in late May, I'm sure.
Right.
The president and Alan Green have both given you, I hate the word vote of confidence because that always tells something negative, but they're supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
And after this season, everything you've been through, you've got national writers saying, I don't see there's any way Bruce Pearl survives this or whatever.
Yep.
You survived it for right now. You've got your future planned out and everything. What does that mean to you, considering all the rumors are going on November, December, like Bruce isn't going to be sticking around, there's no way, and then at the end of the season? Well,
first of all, the national writers aren't here. They don't have enough information. They're just looking at it from the outside in. We didn't always control the story, and some things got out that probably shouldn't have gone out in a private investigation. I put Dr. Leith in a very difficult position. He inherited some things going on that were really challenging, that weren't his doing, and I praise him for his patience, for his tolerance, for his support. And then Alan Green came in, and both sort of did the same thing. They sat back and they evaluated me, my staff, our program, not just the winning and losing. It's the other things. It's the team GPA. It's the graduation rate. It's the service to community. It's the connection to the community. We're here to serve, and it's not just talk. And I commend Dr. Leith. And basically, he could not give me a vote of confidence or support until he had more information. And we provided the information that we needed to provide, and we've gotten through this process. And so I'm grateful that he stayed with me, and I'm grateful that he wants me to be his coach. He's looking forward to next year. And I'm grateful to Alan Green, who I think is going to be tremendous in the position that he's in. He's going to help me take this program to another level. We're going to do it the right way. And I'm looking forward to working with both of those guys to the very best job we possibly can to make Auburn great.
Do you like now hearing national writers say you're a top 5 team next year?
You know what? We're a top 5 team this week. Next week, another guy leaves and we'll be, we won't be. So it doesn't matter. But I do like this in the sense that I'll put it out there. When did you ever think, was it possible for Auburn to win the SEC championship and then potentially return a team that could be a top 5 team? I mean, when did we think? Do you think that was possible?
Honestly, no.
All right, it's possible. It's present now. That's why you play the game, and we'll have to see. But I know we can do it here, and I'm excited about doing it here, and I'm having so much fun doing it with friends and with family and my new Auburn family, man. It's all good. I'm an Auburn man. I'm enjoying it, and I'm hungry.
All right.
Okay, man.
Bruce,
thank you.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate
it.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking care of. I've never done an interview in a car like this.
Yeah, it's a new series we're doing.